So here I am back at it again with another Fortnite Save the World project. In this project, I want to focus on the 10 most common endgame player mistakes that I've been seeing recently in the higher levels of play of Fortnite Save the World. I just want to point out, if you're a brand new endgame player, make sure that you check the description of this video and check out my in-depth endgame guide for Fortnite Save the World. That video is going to explain the endgame grind, and what it's all about, and basically how you guys can maximize your Twine Peak experience in Fortnite Save the World. Also, I got 2 challenges for you guys in this video. Can one of you guys count how many times I say endgame in this video and let me know in the comment sections? I'm really interested. Also, take a shot every time I say endgame. Alright? Anyways, my supporter creator code is Salvaje. If you want to rock that, hey, I would highly appreciate that. With that said, let's get straight into this video. So mistake number 1 and 2 is very simple. Players are not contributing to the mission and players are not upgrading and building structures. Okay, let's just address why a lot of new endgame players are not doing this. Because they don't know how to properly farm. Most importantly, they're also really lazy. They don't want to farm, or they don't know how to maximize expeditions. And who can blame them? I mean, there's 20-minute videos out there that literally break down how to maximize expeditions. Well, that's not the case in this channel. I made a 6-minute in-depth expeditions guide that teaches you how you never ever have to farm in Fortnite Save the World. And if you're an endgame Save the World player, chances are that you have a lot of heroes that are actually leveled up to at least 106, which means that you have a great arsenal of heroes to send out on expeditions so that you constantly keep getting materials in Fortnite Save the World. And of course, you can always build and upgrade the materials of the objectives that you have to defend. So make sure that you check out my 6-minute expeditions guide. I will also be linking that in the description of this video. Now, some players might say, why would I want to contribute to the mission and actually upgrade the building structures? That's just gonna make it so that I'm wasting my materials as much as possible. Well, here's the thing, right? If you don't contribute to the mission, if you don't upgrade the materials around the objective, you're basically increasing your chances of losing the mission. But here's the thing also, right? You don't have to build and upgrade every single material, all right? Some of the things that I like to do in the endgame levels of play is, let's say that I'm doing a quad atlas mission. Something that I like to do is I like to fully upgrade one atlas all the way, and then I like to build around the second atlas, for example, just the basic materials. And usually what this is going to lead to is my other teammates actually finishing off the build for me, right? So they basically upgrade all of the materials that I basically laid out, like for example metal or of course brick. All right, this is something that's really important, guys. All right, if you're not upgrading, if you're not contributing to the mission, you're just increasing your chances of losing the mission. It is literally the most basic thing in Fortnite Save the World. And the reason why I wanted to put a spotlight into this video is because according to my previous video in the comment sections where we were discussing endgame players, a lot of endgame players just seem to lack this basic fundamental of Fortnite Save the World. At the endgame levels of play, you're gonna have to build. You're gonna have to upgrade your structures. If you don't do that, you're just gonna lose the mission or increase your chances of losing the mission greatly, and always be struggling and always having to be building and re-repairing the objective that you're defending. Mistake number 3, wasting your 130 weapons. Here's what I mean by that. If you're doing a level 76 mission, a level 106 gun is going to be doing the job just fine. You don't need a level 130 weapon. Someone that is actually experienced in the endgame of Fortnite Save the World and isn't 13 years old and watches shitty scammer get scammed videos knows for a fact that Sunbeam and Brightcore isn't a material that is very easy to come by, which is why, of course, a true Save the World endgame player knows how to actually maximize his 130 weapons. I only use my 130 weapons at the end game level activities like level 118 and level 109 missions, but I'm not gonna lie, you know, from time to time I do like to use my 130 weapons on level 100 missions because I have a pretty decent amount of Sunbeam. But the point is, you shouldn't really be after this chase to get 130 weapons either, because power level 106 weapons are just gonna do the job just as fine, specifically if you have them with full legendary perks. Okay, so mistake number 4 is when players place any type of wall near the objective. A full-size wall, half wall, or even small wall will still make it so that smashers actually charge towards your objective. Instead of placing a small wall in front of a pyramid build, for example, what you need to do, the correct thing to do, is to place a half floor, because smashers are not going to be charging at half floors. Mistake number 5, not funneling husk. So basically what that means is that you're going to be building walls and staircases so that husk only come to you from one specific direction. Now, the reason why funneling is really important at the endgame levels of play is because it's going to be sort of giving you more control of where the husks are going to be coming from. They're going to be coming from a 2-tile range, and of course you usually have walls around that 2-tile range that they're going to be coming from, which means that they're not going to be all over the place. And of course the gameplay example should give you a general idea of what husk funneling is. But don't worry, I will be making another guide in the future that talks about husk funneling and of course how we can go about maximizing it at the higher levels of play, right? Mistake number 6, not building a trap tunnel. So a lot of Save the World endgame players believe that to build a trap tunnel, they either have to make it a 900 IQ trap tunnel or they have to be placing down a shit ton of traps. Not really. Okay, you guys could just build basic trap tunnels with wood, for example. If explosive death burst isn't activated, just put a couple of your traps down and let your teammates maybe place down some traps. I am more likely to place down my own traps in a mission if, of course, I am seeing that a lot of my teammates are building the trap tunnels for me, because that means I'm going to have to be wasting, of course, less materials. You also don't have to be placing down massive amounts of traps, right? If you place down 4 gas traps on every single trap tunnel that you have on the mission, that's actually going to be really effective. The main purpose and goal of doing trap tunnels at the higher levels of play is to make it so that basic husks are completely eliminated, or that any husk that actually escapes the trap tunnel is going to be very weak for you, your teammates' gadgets or abilities, or your gadgets or abilities to basically finish them off. And that's why trap tunnels are really important at the endgame levels of play and absolutely a must for level 100 missions and above. Now, if you don't know how to build basic trap tunnels or advanced trap tunnels or intermediate trap tunnels, don't worry. I'm already working on a series that's going to be teaching you guys everything you need to know to not only maximize trap tunnels, but of course, it's also going to be teaching you guys a lot of tips and tricks when it comes down to traps in Fortnite Save the World in general. Anyways, mistake number 7, you have to keep in mind that at the higher levels of play, the storm is going to be rotating. The spawn where husks are coming from is going to change. So you need to make sure that you're always keeping the storm rotation in mind. So for example, don't do like a lot of funneling on the east and do no funneling on the west. You want to make sure that you funnel husk from the west side and also the east side as well, as you guys are seeing, of course, in the gameplay example. As you're also building your trap tunnels, you also need to keep in mind that the husks are going to be, of course, coming from different directions. So you need to make sure that as you're building your trap tunnels, you need to, sort of keep where the husk might be coming from in mind. I will be explaining this, of course, in a more in-depth manner in my trap tunnel series. Alright, mistake number 8 is overbuilding. So when it comes down to the husk AI, they are always going to be choosing the path of least resistance. So basically what this means is that if you just build a lot of walls and you don't really give them an actual path to go for, they're just going to be breaking walls randomly. Also, another reason why I think overbuilding is a mistake that in-game players do is because sometimes from time to time I jump into a high level mission in Twine Peaks and I see my teammate trying to build the Eiffel Tower of trap tunnels in the objective, and guess what? Not a single husk ever makes it to the objective, so my teammate basically wasted a lot of materials. So definitely make sure that you guys are not overbuilding or just placing walls just for the sake of placing walls, right? You want to make sure that you're efficient with your materials, but of course also efficient when it comes down to maximizing the mission. Alright, mistake number 9 is not using the environment to your advantage. So sometimes you're going to have objectives that are going to be very close to the edges of the map. This is a perfect opportunity for you to be placing down a lot of wall launchers so that the wall launchers basically throw the husk off the map, and that's basically, of course, less work for you. Okay, last but not least, ignoring priority targets. Let me explain myself a bit further when it comes down to this mistake. Sometimes I'm doing destroy the encampment missions and my teammates just ignore blasters and I'm the only one taking out blasters. If you're doing a destroy the encampment mission, your number 1 priority should be to take out blasters as fast as possible, because those are the biggest threats to you and your teammates. And on top of all that, blasters can melt you from 0 to 100 real quick. If you are doing a double Atlas mission, for example, and your Atlas is fully upgraded and your teammate asks for help, what you're going to do is you're going to go help your teammate out of the other atlas, because even if husks start hitting your atlas, you're going to be able to make it back just in time to repair your atlas and finish off all of the husk. If a smasher is hitting your atlas, you need to take out that smasher instead of course focusing on the other small husks that are hitting your atlas instead. Target priority is something that is really important, and I've been thinking of actually making an in-depth guide on target priority in Save the World, because I feel like sometimes if your teammates don't know what are the important targets that they need to take out, you're honestly going to have a harder time in mission. So let me know in the comment section if you guys want to see that guide. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to cover some 10 common endgame level mistakes that I have been seeing very frequently. I'm probably going to make a part 2 to this video. And of course, make sure that you're subscribed to the Salvaje Cartel, because I will be dropping more endgame guides this month, as well as of course some other guides that are going to be teaching you guys a lot of the fundamental necessities to maximize the Save the World endgame, and of course just to be a great Save the World player in general. See you guys in the next one, and peace out.